So let's start now. This is a nucleus. This is a nucleus in which we have chromatin fibers. In which we have chromatin fibers, right? So these are the chromatin fibers which is present inside the nucleus. All right. These chromatin fibers condense together to form chromosome. Condense together to form a structure. What we call it as chromosome. All right. So chromosome is the condensed form of chromatin fibers which is present inside the nucleus. Got it? Clear, everybody? What is a chromosome? Chromosome is a condensed form of chromatin fibers which is present in the nucleus. So what is the location of the chromosome? Chromosome, nucleus is the location of the chromosome. Clear? So chromosome is a condensed form. What is condensed form? Condensed means coming close together, right? So condensation हिंदी में कैसे बोले इसको? तो जम जाना, इकट्ठा होना, coming close together. ठीक है? That is called condensation, right? So the chromatin fibers here, chromatin fibers consist of DNA molecules, right? So here DNA molecules are there. We call it as chromatin fibers. It's a thread-like structure which is present inside the nucleus, and that DNA or that chromatin fibers condense together and it form a structure called chromosome, which means this chromosome is carrying DNA, right? Because this chromatin fibers carries genetic material, that is your DNA. Yes, am I right or wrong? Right. So DNA is present in the nucleus as a chromatin fiber, right? So these chromatin fibers that will condense together and will form a chromosome, which means the chromosome which means the DNA molecule is present over this chromosome, which means the DNA molecule is present over this chromosome. So what is a chromosome? Chromosome is a structure which carries genetic information, that is DNA. All right. So what is a chromosome? Chromosome is a condensed form of chromatin fibers which contains genetic material. So let me write the definition. Chromosome is a condensed form of chromatin fibers which contains genetic material, and that genetic material is your DNA or RNA. It may be DNA or RNA. All right. So what is chromosome? Chromosome is a condensed form of or condensed structure of chromatin fibers which is present in the nucleus, and it carries genetic material. Now, how many chromosomes are there in a nucleus in a normal cell? Genetic material, DNA, or we can write RNA. All right, RNA is a ribonucleic acid. DNA means deoxyribonucleic acid. Let me write the definition, full form of this DNA. DNA is nothing but deoxyribonucleic acid. And what is RNA, my dear friends? What is RNA? Please tell me. It's ribonucleic acid. Am I right? It is ribonucleic acid. You guys are so smart. You already, I know that you know what is DNA and RNA. Still, let me tell you something about your DNA and your RNA, right? DNA is a original genetic material which carries all the information of your body, which carries all the information of your body. RNA is a byproduct, we can say, byproduct, or we can say a product which is formed when DNA gets multiplied. Okay, RNA is a product which is formed when the DNA gets replicated. I'm talking about a normal animal cell or normal plant cell. All right, so DNA is a double helical structure. So this is your single helical structure, and if we add another one structure on it, we call it as double helical structure. So this is how your DNA looks. This is how your DNA look like. Yes? Yes or no? Yes? So this is how your DNA looks like. So this is a double helical structure of a DNA. So double helical structure of DNA, the DNA is present in abundant amount. How it gets abundant? It multiplies itself during every cell division. During every cell division, DNA multiply itself. And during the process of that multiplication, there is one single stranded material is produced, and that is your RNA. All right, that is your RNA. RNA carries the information. RNA carries the information of protein, which protein has to form. Right? So RNA carries information. RNA carries the code or the information for protein synthesis. All right. So DNA produces RNA, and RNA carries information to produce protein. So eventually we can say that RNA produces proteins. So DNA forms RNA, RNA forms protein. How RNA is produced? When DNA gets multiplied, when DNA multiplication takes place, it produces one single stranded RNA, one single stranded material, and that is your RNA. Okay, that is your RNA, which contains various amino acid, which eventually forms protein, Clear? So DNA forms RNA, RNA will form protein. Done. This DNA is present in the chromosome, right? This DNA is present in the chromosome, and chromosome is a condensed form of chromatin fibers, right? Which means DNA is present in the nucleus in the form of chromosome. All right. Okay, so RNA is present everywhere. RNA is present in nucleus also. RNA is present in your cytoplasm also, right? So RNA is present everywhere. So we are not going to talk about this RNA, DNA in detail because this is not a genetics chapter, right? We are going to talk about sex determination. For that, I'm giving you little information about chromosome. That's all. All right. So this DNA carries information, right? Carries information about entire body. It carries information. It carries the information of your structural formation. It carries information that how should your nose to be, how your lips to form. I mean, what will be the shape of your lips? What will be the shape of your nose height, your body's height, your body's weight? Everything is determined by the DNA because it carries all the information of your body's structure and physiology. All right, which means DNA carries all the information about your body. That's the reason DNA is called as genetic material, and we say that it carries blueprint of our body. It carries blueprint of our body, and this is present in both male and female. It is present in every cell. It's present in the every eukaryotic cell, and even in the prokaryotic cell, DNA is present. Without DNA, no life can exist. Without DNA, no life can exist. So every cell contains this DNA, whether it is present in the nucleus or outside the nucleus, that is different part, that is different, but DNA is present everywhere in all the cells. All right. So if something has to form, yes, of course, in asexual reproduction also DNA multiplies. So that is not, any kind of reproduction will not, affect the DNA production. Whether it is, yes, of course, DNA is also found in plants, DNA is also found in animals. So DNA is present in every single cell of this earth. All right, because without DNA, nothing will form, no protein will form, and without protein, no cell will form. So eventually, for the formation of the cell, we need proteins, and for proteins, we need mRNA or RNA, and for RNA, we need DNA. Ultimately, so we can say it is directly or indirectly relate. DNA is directly or indirectly responsible for the formation of a cell. So if there is a cell, there should be a nucleus inside the cell. All right. Okay. Clear? So this is about your DNA. Now, this DNA carries the blueprint, carries the information, and that information, that blueprint, that information, we call it as the set of information. That is, we call it a gene. So I know you have heard about this term, gene. All right. Gene. What is a gene? Gene is a small fragment or some small part of chromosome which codes some information. That is a gene. All right. It's a sequence of a genetic material, or we can say sequence of nucleotides which carries some information. That is your gene. All right. It is how RNA is produced, Samir. It is how RNA is produced. RNA is produced only when the DNA replicates. All right. In some animals or in some microorganisms, RNA is produced. But even though for that production of RNA, like viruses carries only RNA. They don't have DNA. All right. Some viruses carries DNA. Some viruses carries RNA. All right. So the viruses which is RNA based or which carries RNA as a genetic material, they also need DNA for the production of that RNA. So DNA is the only responsible for RNA production, RNA formation, and RNA is responsible for viruses. Is not a living organism. We cannot consider it as living, because it is not metabolically active outside the host. Outside the host, it is not metabolically active, and that's the reason we cannot consider it as a cell. All right. Now, this chromosome carries gene. All right, and that gene is responsible for some information in your body, right? That information. Now, we have 23 set of chromosome. We have 23 pair of chromosome. 23 pair of chromosome in every cell, not in your entire body. 23 pair of chromosomes will be present in every cell of your body. Remember this. All right. So we have 23 pair of chromosome in every cell of your body. All right. And this chromosome or this material or this always, voice is not clear. क्या मेरा आवाज सही से सुनाई नहीं दे रहा है? My video is not clear, right? Okay, let me check. No, I have a very good Wi-Fi here. सुनाई दे रहा है? वीडियो एंड वॉइस इज नॉट क्लियर. वीडियो लैगिंग नहीं, यहाँ पे तो लैग नहीं कर रहा है. Just wait for a while. अभी ठीक है, अभी क्लियर है. इज इट ओके नाउ? Just wait for a while. It's auto correcting. Okay. Okay. Chalo. So let's continue. So we have 23 pair of chromosomes in every cell. All right. So we have 23 pairs of chromosome in every cell, and that pair, why it's present in pairs? Because chromosome functions only in pair. If it is single, it will not. It will be non-functional. It will be non-functional. So for the functioning, I mean, this chromosome will only function if it is present in pairs. All right. So 23 pair, and that in 23 pair we have different names of the chromosome. We have names of the chromosome. We name it as XX chromosome. We name it as XX and XY chromosome, which means if there is a one pair of chromosome here, let me draw one pair of chromosome. This chromosome will be X and second one will be X, or if it is a chromosome like this, we can consider this X and this as Y. So we have 22 set of chromosome, 22 pair as XX chromosome, and the 23rd pair is your XY chromosome. I'm talking about male. I'm talking about male. All right. I'm talking about male body, male person. So you have in males, the 22 pair of chromosome will be XX chromosome, and in 23rd pair it will be X and Y chromosome. But in female, all 23 pair will be XX. Entire 23 set of chromosome will be XX chromosome. All right. So in males, 22 pairs are XX and 23rd pair is XY. But in female, if you talk about female, when all 23 pair will be your XX chromosome. Now, why I'm stressing much about the pair and 22, 23? Because in sex determination, this is very important to understand the number of chromosome and the type of chromosome if you want to understand the sex determination. All right, because in male we have 22 pair of XX chromosome and 23 pair, 23rd pair is your XY, and in female all 23 pair, which means we can say 22 pair will be 22 pair 22 pair will be XX, and 23rd also 23rd pair is also XX chromosome. This 23rd pair we call it as sex chromosomes. The 23rd pair of the chromosome number, chromosome set, we consider it as we call it as sex chromosome. Why? Because it is the difference, it is the basic difference between male and female. In males, in every males, we have X and Y in the 23rd pair of chromosome, and in all the females, we have XX chromosome in 20 as a 23rd pair. I'm receiving one call. I don't know who is calling. So that's the reason I'm getting muted. So please just wait for a while. Let me check. I don't know who is calling. Okay, so just leave. All right. So 23rd pair. So in every male, the 23rd pair chromosome will be XY. And that's the difference between male and female. And this is the chromosome which determines the sex of the fetus. How the sex is determined? With the help of these 23rd set of chromosomes in male and female. What will happen with these chromosomes which starts determining the sex of the fetus? Let's understand that. This chromosome, all right, this chromosome is XX. In female, the 23rd is XX, and in male, the 23rd is XY. So please remember this very important point. The 23rd pair is XY in male and 23rd pair in XX in female. 23rd pair is XX in female. All right. Now let's understand how this 23rd pair is responsible, plays a major role in sex determination of the fetus. Okay. I hope all these basic information of the chromosome is clear to you all. If yes, please put a tick mark on the participants list so that I'll get to know whether you understood this particular topic or not. Please put a tick mark if you understood. Put a cross mark if you. Okay, so yes, so I got tick mark. I got lots and lots of tick mark. Okay, so please take a screenshot of this. Okay, okay. So let's start with the sex determination. Now, okay, during reproduction, we know that male produces gamete and female also produces gamete. And what is a gamete? Sperm in male and ovum in female. Clear? So during gamete formation, the process is called gametogenesis. The process is called gametogenesis. So gamete production takes place during reproduction. Male produces a gamete and female also produces a gamete. This gamete is the only cell of your body which is having 23 chromosome, not 23 pair. All right, 23 chromosome. It carries 23 chromosome, and this also carries 23, not pair. It is not present in pairs. So this is the only cell of your body which is not in pair. Except this gametes, all other cells have pair or paired chromosome. All right, only this male and female gametes, they are unpaired chromosome. They are not present in pairs, they are present as a single. So 23 chromosome is present in male gamete and 23 chromosome is present in female gamete. So why nucleus is present in gamete? Whether it's a cell? Yes, sperm is a cell and ovum is also a cell. All right, so we call it as sperm cell. Ovum is also a cell. So sperm is also a cell and ovum is also a cell. So it carries genetic material. All right, it carries genetic material, and the genetic material which is present in the chromosome will not be present in pairs. Getting my point? So the chromosome which is present here in this sperm is not present in pair. It is present as a single chromosome. So it is not present in pairs. It is present as a single chromosome. And this type of cell is called as haploid chromosome. This set of chromosome is called as haploid chromosome. And the cell which carries the haploid chromosome, we call it as haploid cell. We call it as haploid cell. The cell which carries pair of chromosome, the cell which carries pair of chromosome, we call it as diploid cell. Diploid cell. And the chromosome, we call it as diploid chromosome. Diploid chromosome. All right, but gamete is not diploid, it is haploid. Whether it's male or female, that doesn't matter, but the gamete which is present in male and female, it's a haploid chromosome. All right, they carry haploid chromosome and it's a haploid cell. So if anyone asks about you the sperm, all right, what you will say? The sperm is haploid or diploid? The sperm is a haploid cell because it carries haploid chromosomes. All right, and it becomes diploid, and all other cells of your body except this sperm cell is diploid in nature. Is diploid in nature. Clear? Clear to all? Okay. Now, see, this is going to be very interesting. How the male and female gets determined, right? It's going to be very, very interesting because this is the root of baby formation. All right, so how baby forms and what will happen if we want, what should happen if we want a baby boy, what should happen if we want a baby girl, that you're going to understand right now. All right, now, so during sexual intercourse or during sexual reproduction, the sperm is donated by the male and ovum is donated by the female. What will happen? This sperm carries multiple cells. sperm carries multiple cells, and all cells are, I mean, sperm is produced in multiple number. Lots and lots of sperms are produced. About millions of sperms are produced, which is a cell. Which is a cell. So this is a sperm, which is a cell, and this sperm cell is haploid in nature. This sperm cell is haploid in nature, right? Which means it carries single set of chromosome, right? Single set of chromosome, not a paired chromosome, single chromosome. It is not, we cannot say as a set or pair. So 23 chromosome is present. So 23 chromosome is present here, 23 will be present in this sperm, 23 in all sperm. So सिर्फ 23 क्रोमोसोम होते हैं, 23 पेयर में नहीं होते हैं. Remember, only 23 chromosome will be present, not present. It is not present in pairs, right? Now, this 23 pairs will be either X. So 23 will be X chromosome, or it will be X, and so 20 in this. Okay, let me clear this confusion. So 23 chromosome, this sperm carries 23 chromosome. 22 in this sperm, मान के चलिए कि हमारा sperm है, and it carries 23 chromosome. In this 23 chromosome, 22 will be X, and 23rd will be either X. है ना? क्या होता है कि नेचुरली हमारे जो सेल्स होते हैं, जो नॉर्मल सेल है, उसमें 23 पेयर में होता है. 23 पेयर में 22 क्या होता है? XX होता है. अगर ये नॉर्मल सेल होता तो 22 XX होते, और 23 क्या होता है? 23rd XY होते. लेकिन क्योंकि ये क्या होता है, क्योंकि ये अकेले प्रेजेंट होता है, पेयर में नहीं होता है, तो हो सकता है या तो ये प्रेजेंट हो या ये प्रेजेंट हो. क्लियर है? या तो XX प्रेजेंट हो, यानी 22X और 23rd भी X में हो, या हो सकता है कि 22X और 23rd Y हो. कुछ भी हो सकता है यहाँ पे, राइट? तो मान के चलते हैं कि यहाँ पे X है 22 और Y है 23rd. यहाँ पे XY है, यहाँ पे YXY है, यहाँ पे XY है, यहाँ पे XY है, यहाँ पे XX है, यहाँ पे XX है, XX है, और ये XY है. जो पहला है 22nd क्रोमोसोम, 22 क्रोमोसोम, और ये 23rd है. तो हम क्या करते हैं कि सिर्फ 23rd रखते हैं, बाकी हम डिलीट कर देते हैं, नहीं तो हो जाएगा कंफ्यूजन. सो ये क्या है? 23rd क्रोमोसोम है, इसी हम लिख रहे हैं क्योंकि 23rd क्रोमोसोम क्या है? सेक्स क्रोमोसोम है. 23 क्रोमोसोम, सो हमें सिर्फ इसी से मतलब है, बाकी से कोई मतलब नहीं है, क्योंकि सेक्स क्रोमोसोम ही रिस्पॉन्सिबल होता है सेक्स डिटर्मिनेशन के लिए. बोलो, समझ में आ रहा है सबको? सबको समझ में आ रहा है? हमारे सेल में 23 सेट ऑफ क्रोमोसोम होते हैं हर सेल के अंदर, लेकिन जो हमारा सेक्स सेल है, स्पर्म सेल, उसमें पेयर में नहीं होते, अकेले होते हैं. और 22 उसमें X होंगे, और 23rd या तो X होगा या तो Y होगा, सिर्फ एक होगा. ठीक है? तो कुछ स्पर्म सेल, क्योंकि मिलियंस ऑफ स्पर्म सेल प्रोड्यूस होते हैं, तो कुछ में होंगे X और कुछ में होंगे Y. डिपेंड करता है, ये जरूरी नहीं है कि सब में Y हो और सब में X हो. ठीक है? नाउ so this sperm carries Y, this sperm carries Y, X, X, Y. ठीक है? तो ये था स्पर्म. यहाँ पे मेल ने प्रोड्यूस किया, इस टाइप का स्पर्म प्रोडक्शन मेल ने कर लिया है. अब हम बात करते हैं फीमेल का. फीमेल में ओवम का प्रोडक्शन होता है, और फीमेल में क्या होता है? ऑल योर 23 सेट ऑफ क्रोमोसोम विल बी X क्रोमोसोम. सो यहाँ पे कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, दिक्कत है ही नहीं. जितने भी यहाँ पे ओवम प्रोड्यूस हुए हैं, वो सारे ओवम के अंदर क्या है? X क्रोमोसोम है. सब में क्या है? X क्रोमोसोम है. चाहे वो 22 हो या 23rd हो, सब X क्रोमोसोम है. ठीक है? नाउ this is about your gametogenesis and gamete formation. After this gametogenesis, fertilization takes place. What will happen? The sperm will fuse with ovum, and that process is called fertilization. We already know, we have studied in the last chapter, previous chapter, है ना? So sperm and ovum gets fused together, and the process is called fertilization. Now, fertilization occurs, and during fertilization, any one of the sperm will fuse with any one of the, fuse means attach, or they mingle and form one cell. Fusion, that is called fusion. यानी दो अलग अलग सेल एक दूसरे के अंदर आएंगे और दोनों एक दूसरे में मिल जाएंगे और एक सेल बना लेंगे. That is called fusion. मिलना, they are attached together. All right, that is called fusion. और fission means division. एक सेल दो सेल में डिवाइड होता है, that is called fission. And दो सेल एक सेल में फॉर्म होता है, that is called fusion. ठीक है? Now, the sperm will get fused with ovum. All right, so any one of the sperm, जितने millions में produce हुए, लेकिन millions जाकर million ovum तो sperm fertilize नहीं करते. Only one ovum will produce. Only one ovum will produce every month, and हर महीना chance रहता है कि pregnancy हो जाए. How? Because millions of sperm is produced, but only one sperm will come in contact with the ovum and it fuses together. So what will be the possibility? यहाँ पे possibility क्या हो सकता है? हमारे पास millions of sperm production हुए हैं, जिनमें mixture है, कुछ X है, कुछ Y है. सेक्स क्रोमोसोम क्या है? कुछ में X है, कुछ में Y है. इसमें सब क्या है? X ही है. So probability क्या हो सकता है? अब हम यहाँ पे probability देखने वाले हैं कि probability क्या हो सकता है. चलो, male will produce either X or Y. Female has only X chromosome. In any cases, सिर्फ X ही produce करेगा. तो यहाँ पे देखेंगे कि probability क्या बनती है. If this is your male, all right, and this is your female. All right, this is your female and this is your male. If this X sperm will come and contact with this X, or either this one or this one, what will be the formation? XX. जब मेल का स्पर्म फीमेल के X के साथ कांटेक्ट में आते हैं, what will happen? X will fuse with female X. Male X will fuse with female X, and what will form? XX chromosome will form. Clear? So ये haploid, this is also haploid, and this is also haploid. Two haploid cells come in contact, and they want to form diploid cell. So here diploid cell is produced. So what will be the diploid cell? Both the X will fuse and form XX chromosome. Next probability, maybe this Y will come in contact with this X and form, or this Y come in contact with this X and form XY chromosome. बोलो हाँ या ना. So let me clear. इसको स्क्रीनशॉट ले लीजिए and let me draw another probability. We have X, Y in male and X in female. Okay. So this X, if this X fuses with this X, what will form? XX will form. If this X fuses with this X, what will form? XX will form. If this Y fuses with this X, what will form? XY will form. If this Y fuses with this X, what will form? XY will form. We can simplify it and we can put it in the Punnett square. X, Y, X, X. क्रॉस मल्टीप्लीकेशन, यहाँ पे क्रॉस मल्टीप्लीकेशन करिए, क्या होगा? X और X, XX. एक्स और वाई एक्स वाई, एक्स और एक्स एक्स एक्स, एक्स और वाई एक्स वाई। तो यहाँ पे दो एक्स वाई आएंगे, दो एक्स एक्स आएंगे। सी, एक एक्स वाई है, दूसरा एक्स वाई है। यहाँ पे एक एक्स है, एक्स एक्स है, और दूसरा एक्स एक्स है। Yes, only one sperm is fuses with only one ovary. All right, one sperm will fuses with only one ovary. All right, now so we have two xy and two xx. अब बताइए कि xy किसका कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स है, मेल का कि फीमेल का? किसका कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स है, मेल का कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स है या फीमेल का? ये कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स है मेल का, यानी मेल में ही होता है ना 22 सेट एक्स में और 23rd फीमेल में, राइट? नाउ ये किसका कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स है, एक्स एक्स, फीमेल का। ये किसका कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स है, मेल का। ये किसका है, फीमेल का। सो हमारे पास दो फीमेल और दो मेल हो सकते हैं, यानी देर इज 50-50 चांस ऑफ गेटिंग मेल बेबी एंड फीमेल बेबी। और ये देखो यहां पे किस पे डिपेंड करता है, यहां पे अगर एक्स होता तो सारा बेबी क्या होता, फीमेल होता, है ना? सारा बेबी क्या होता, फीमेल। अगर यहाँ पे एक्स होता तो ये किसका किसका क्रोमोसोम है, मेल का। ये किसका है, फीमेल का। यानी अगर मेल में एक्स होता इस वाई के जगह पे तो सब फीमेल होती। यहाँ पे वाई है इसीलिए दो मेल और दो फीमेल आया है। यानी हु इज रेस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर getting male or female child? Tell me, give me the answer. Who is responsible for getting female or male child? देख लीजिए ध्यान से इसको। Who is responsible? Y is responsible. Y chromosome is responsible, and Y chromosome is present in which person, male or female? It is present in male. So ultimately, male is responsible for the production of baby boy. If a female gets pregnant and if she produces female baby, it's not her mistake, it's the mistake of male chromosome, that is Y. All right, producing a baby boy is due to, it's all because of the male chromosome, Y chromosome. Producing a baby girl, it's due to the XX chromosome, this X chromosome in male. So male is the only responsible for producing male or female boy, I mean boy or girl. All right, and even male is not responsible. Why it's not responsible? Because it's purely depend on luck. Which one is going to fuse, boys or male? They don't know. They produce millions. In that, the strongest chromosome will reach the ovum. It might be, it may be Y or X. It doesn't matter. I mean, we can't clear. Clear. Please copy this down. All right. So we know we have sex hormones. I told you in the last class, previous class, we have sex hormone. Male has testosterone and female has estrogen and progesterone. That is the production of FSH and LH. I told you about that, right? So who is responsible for the production of these hormones? Glands. All right. Who is responsible to produce these hormones? Glands are responsible for the production of these hormones, which eventually plays a major role in the reproduction or adolescence or puberty, all right, or sexual maturity. So hormones are responsible for the sexual maturity of the baby, right? If I am matured, if I am getting this beard, it's all due to the testosterone is produced in my body, FSH is produced in my body, that is testosterone. Ultimately it's a sex organ, so all my secondary sexual characters are depend on the hormones which is produced in my body. Yes, so hormones are responsible for the secondary sexual characters, or hormones are responsible for the maturity of the fetus, or not fetus, maturity of any male or female, that is sexual maturity. All right, hormones are responsible. So hormones, now it's high time to understand what is a hormone. Hormone is a chemical substance. Hormone is a chemical substance, produced in small amount for the metabolic process of the body, all right. So hormone is a chemical substance produced in small amount for the metabolic process of the body, which is produced by glands. So glands produces hormones. Who produces hormones? Glands produces hormones in your body. There are multiple hormones which is present, which is daily secreting in your body. Day to day, in daily life, you are getting secreted, your body getting secreted with or loaded with lots of hormones. And that we are going to talk about. What are the hormones produced by the glands? What are the glands which is present in your body? All right. So glands. So we have two type of glands. अभी आगे चल के देखेंगे हम लोग, आगे हायर क्लासेस पढ़िएगा तो आप लोगों को बताया जाएगा तीन तरह का ग्लैंड होता है. There are three type of gland, but basically we are going to talk about only two types here. One is your exocrine gland and another one is your endocrine gland. All right, we have two type of gland. One is exocrine, another one is endocrine. The gland which is responsible for the production of this hormone, we call it as endocrine gland. Endocrine gland is the only gland responsible for the production of these hormones. Then what will this exocrine do? What this exocrine will do? This exocrine will produce enzymes. This produces enzymes. What this do? This will produce enzymes, and endocrine glands will produce hormones. Clear? So this exocrine will produce enzymes, endocrine will produce hormones. We are going to talk about this endocrine glands because we are talking about the hormones right now. Okay, so what is endocrine gland? Endocrine gland is a type of gland which produces hormones directly into the bloodstream. For example, Okay, I have two target. Let me consider as a gland. I have two target. One target is I have two mouth. I have two mouth. Okay, I have two mouth. One mouth is connected with the pipe, and another mouth is not connected with the pipe. It's open. It's open. All right, and first mouth is connected with a pipe, and second mouth is not connected with the pipe. Okay, let me consider this is Tarun Tiwari with two mouth. All right, one mouth is connected with a pipe which open up here in the stomach or mouth, and this is open, which does not have any kind of target because it's open. And it's open means we have blood around it, we have blood vessels around it, we have blood vessels around it. So there are two type of gland, one with this tube and another one is open. If the gland which is present here, this gland with the tube, if this secretes some chemical, the chemical will pass into this tube and reaches the mouth eventually through with the help of this tube. And if this gland produces chemical, this is not produced in the tube, it is directly produced into the bloodstream. It is directly produced into the bloodstream. Clear? So there are two type of gland. One is produced into the tube, or we call it as duct. This tube is called it as duct. So there are two type of gland. One which produces the chemical or which produces its substances into the duct, and another which is not secreting its chemical into the duct, it's secreting in open pathway, that is directly into the bloodstream. So jahan jahan blood jayega, eventually your chemical substances will migrate and reaches its target site. Getting my point? Now, the gland with duct connected is called exocrine gland, and the gland which is open is endocrine gland. Okay? The gland with duct is called exocrine and it secretes enzymes, and the gland with open mouth is endocrine which secretes hormone. Clear? Clear, everybody? Clear, everybody? Yes? Okay. Now, let's understand the types of exocrine and endocrine gland and its location and its secretion. All right? So we are going to talk about this endocrine gland. Okay? So please take a screenshot of this. So we have two type of gland. One is exocrine gland, another one is endocrine gland. This exocrine gland is a gland which is having duct. So if this exocrine gland has to secrete some chemical, it secretes directly into the duct and it goes direct to the target site. So mouth is the target site. So which means if I am a gland, okay, so I have to send some letter, or I have to send some letter from my mouth, okay, to Chhapra, I mean Begusarai. I have to send message to the Chhapra. What I'll do, I'll directly connect a tube to Chhapra, to Avanti classes, or to you guys. I'll connect on tube and directly put my message in that tube, and it will reach to you only to a target site, only to Samir or only to Kanishka. Okay, so I am having a special tube which leads to the target site, which open only at the target site. All right, and I have another one mouth which is open. If I want to send information, if I want to send the information to Chhapra, I'll speak, I will give information around, and the air molecule will travel to Chhapra, and the person who is who is the target will catch all the information from the air. Clear? हिंदी में बताते हैं, इंग्लिश में मुझे भी ना प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है ना। तो क्या है, मेरे पास एक ऐसा, मैं अगर एक्सोक्राइन ग्लैंड हूं तो मेरे पास एक ऐसा ट्यूब है जो डायरेक्टली अगर समीर आनंद को मुझे इंफॉर्मेशन देना है तो मेरे पास ऐसा ट्यूब है जो हम यहाँ से इंफॉर्मेशन देंगे, समीर आनंद के ही कान के पास होगा वो दूसरा ओपनिंग, हम यहाँ से बोलेंगे सिर्फ समीर आनंद को सुनाई देगा, क्योंकि ओके, सो ऑल राइट, हम यहाँ पे क्या करेंगे, हम आगे का चीजें हम अगले क्लास में कंटिन्यू करेंगे, समझ में आना चाहिए, ठीक है। हम अगर एक्सोक्राइन है, यहाँ से हम बोलेंगे सिर्फ समीर को सुनाई देगा, यानी हमारे पास एक ट्यूब है जो समीर से कनेक्टेड है, तो इन्फॉर्मेशन समीर तक पहुंच जाएगा। अगर हम एंडोक्राइन है, हम खुला आसमान यानी डायरेक्टली ओपन अप बोल देंगे, ब्लड में हम अपना इन्फॉर्मेशन डाल देंगे, वो इन्फॉर्मेशन ब्लड में क्या करेगा, ब्लड जहां जहां जाएगा वो इन्फॉर्मेशन कैरी करेगा, और जैसे मान लीजिए कि वो इन्फॉर्मेशन हमें माउथ तक भेजना है, या वो इन्फॉर्मेशन हमें कहाँ तक भेजना है, लिवर तक भेजना है, तो हम ओपनली ऐसे बोल दिए, जब जैसे ब्लड गया लिवर के पास, लिवर ने उस इंफॉर्मेशन को कलेक्ट कर लिया, ठीक है। यानी मुझे इंफॉर्मेशन समीर को देना है, हमारे पास एक ट्यूब है, हम उसके थ्रू दे सकते हैं, या फिर हम ओपनली बोलेंगे, वो एयर भ्रमण करेगा पूरे इंडिया में, जैसे छपरा समीर के घर के पास पहुंच माइग्रेट करेगा, समीर उस सारे इंफॉर्मेशन को पिक कर लेंगे, है ना। सो अगर पिक करने वाला होगा कि ये पूरा भ्रमण करेगा और सिर्फ समीर पिक कर लेंगे, तो वो कहलाएगा एंडोक्राइन ग्लैंड, यानी ऐसा ग्लैंड जो ओपन ब्लड में अपना केमिकल रिलीज कर देता है, वो होगा एंडोक्राइन। और ऐसा ग्लैंड जो अपने केमिकल को, अपने एंजाइम को ट्यूब में छोड़ता है, डक्ट में छोड़ता है, जो सिर्फ स्पेसिफिक उसी के पास जाएगा जहां पे उसको जाना है, दैट इज योर एक्सोक्राइन। डक्ट एंड ट्यूब बोथ आर सेम, सो ट्यूब कहिए या डक्ट कहिए, ट्यूब इज अ नॉर्मल इंग्लिश और डक्ट इज अ बायोलॉजिकल टर्म, सिंपल, ठीक है, दोनों एक ही बात है है ना, ट्यूब कहिए या डक्ट कहिए, ठीक है. सो दैट इज योर एक्सोक्राइन एंड एंडोक्राइन का डिफरेंस. इन नेक्स्ट क्लास we'll continue with the types of glands and the location and the function of glands, and then we will talk about reproductive health. All right, so see you in the next class. I hope this session is was very informative to you guys. Okay, so see you in the next class. If you have any doubt, you can directly ask in the group, WhatsApp group, or you can contact me directly. You can call me at any time before 10 p.m. All right, thank you so much for joining. See you in the next class. Bye bye.